What's up, guys? Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming here with another video, and I was asked to give my opinion, and I know this topic's been going around for months now, and with recent news about the Sony censorship. And I want to point out why, because I own one of the games that Sony censored, and I'm going to question why, and I'm going to tell you the title, by the way. I have Terminator Resistance. If you haven't played it, it's a great love letter to the series. If you can catch it on sale, or if you're a Terminator fan, be sure to pick it up. Just to let you guys know that right there. It's a really good game. But Sony's censorship is really beginning to fail and crumble apart. Even no matter how hard they try to justify it. It's the old tired excuse that we always hear. Think about the children. I was a child at one point. I knew the difference between a game that was for a child and a game that wasn't for a child, and telling a child to play the game he's not supposed to, or see what he's not supposed to, or she, will not stop them from going to do it, okay? I'm going to give you an example. Back then, I couldn't play San Andreas. What did I do? Go to my friend's house. What did my mom do to prevent that problem? She just bought it for me that Christmas, okay? Simple. Fixed. There you go. Things are not going to stop gamers. Sony's policies and censorship is not going to stop gamers from, and of all people, Sony Japan, really, of all people, when all the most I'm going to say what it is, most perverted things in gaming come from Japan. As much as we love anime, what do us guys see when we see anime? Anime titties, okay? You got to make something to hold the audience besides a good story. But really, when The Last of Us Part 2 came out, that really took Sony's censorship policies and what they said about it and completely threw it on its head. Alright, they're censoring not only just sex scenes, which, okay, fine. But here's the kicker. Sex scenes in video games don't always force you to do that. For example, unlike The Last of Us Part 2 that has to force you to watch Abby get boned, games like Mass Effect, it's an option. Dragon Age, it's an option. Things are optional. What about the Yakuza games? Why aren't they censored? I have the Yakuza series on PS4, and none of them are censored. Even if Sony says, yeah, well, we censored them in patch updates, bullshit. You could still do all the uncensored junk and pervertedness that you, I mean, literally, you can go on a phone sex line and see mini softcore porno vids in Yakuza 0. So don't tell me that they have a policy that they stand by. This can also damage visions. Okay, think about it. If there's something going on in the story between two characters and you want to show a love scene, it actually would be more appropriate to show it with build up and lead in. To use Mass Effect, for example, when you create your character, you have all types of sexualities you can go for. And each one has a very minor lead into the sex scene. There's maybe only 2 that actually show full frontal and full body nudity. Okay? Phoebe and Cassandra are the ones that show you ass and titties. Am I right or am I wrong? When you play games like Terminator Resistance, you still kind of see, all they did was move the screen box to look more cinematic by closing up where the chest area was, but that was already done before any of the censorship had happened. So you're really stepping on the shoes of developers who feel that gamers, you're basically saying gamers are not mature enough to handle this sort of thing. Okay? What is stopping gamers from bypassing the blocks, the censorships? You really think that's going to stop gamers, especially on PC, if a game has, let's say, restrictions in place to block the scene or censor the scene? You do realize they could turn that shit off or bypass it. You really maybe only have control on the console fronts, but on the PC fronts, everybody will be able to break any censor bars that block anything, any screen filters that try to censor stuff. Whatever you think you can do, gamers can do better. Okay? Even Japan, despite Japan releasing, censoring the Abby sex scene, it's too late. Everybody had to watch that horrible, disgusting piece of shit. But there's one thing I can thank The Last of Us 2 for. It blows a hole in the Sony censorship policies. It shows that Sony is being very hypocritical. Sony of Japan, mind you. Sony of America probably really doesn't care because whatever you let the developers do, you let the developers do, and it maximizes profit. Sony of Japan should really step down from this whole policy before it blows up even more in their face. I mean, it's already blown up more in their face now. They're just being ignorant and oblivious to it by my understanding. But upcoming games, like even remasters, I don't know if the game Catherine came out. Because on last gen, Catherine was it was censored and uncensored. I mean, it was not a kid's game by any means, or even a teenager's game teenagers will probably play it anyway. I know sure as hell I did. But what's the point of buying it again if you can't see the hot and spice? Because a game like Catherine, that's what it was meant for. That type of representation and over-the-top sexual overdose in the game. Games like Dead or Alive, we don't play it because the games are good, because those fighting games are horrible. They're just basically low-budget Tekken ripoffs, but we only played it for one reason. And to take that away, you're going to hurt the pockets of the people that made it, and you're basically going to be shunning the gamers that, whether you like it or not, gamers don't care about censorship. They want to see the game in its entirety. And Sony, you're not going to be able to stop that for too long. This is Emperor John Kill 3D Gaming. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, and I'll catch you all next time.